is 6:30, so I'll call the work session of the mayor and council for the city of Snellville, Georgia, Monday, September 22nd, 2025 to order. We have a quorum, everyone's present. We'll first go through the regular business meeting. Let's see what we've got. The invocation will be Dr. Quincy Brown. As long as he remembered, because I forgot to ask. Remind him. Anyone for the pledge?
Everyone for the
SYC kids.
There we go.
Sure.
Okay.
That's good. Put Day Hebe. T-A-Y-E. Last name K-E-V-E. Student maker.
So we'll be doing the oath of office for the youth council members. We'll also be appointing in the business part, we'll be appointing the advisory board members, and then we'll go through the votes on all of them, and then we'll call everybody up at one time and swear them in. And we'll swear in the youth council members in ceremonial matters. We'll do those as a group too.
I put it in big print just in case. For you.
Well, this is different than the one, you know, look at that one.
Yeah, that's just to read, not to sign.
I sent Quincy Brown a text to see if
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
It's got the
Same thing.
same content, just different order, but same content, so you can make it one.
Okay. We were gonna just call the kids up and
Okay.
just say, you solemnly swear, for I'll read through it and then
Okay.
just let them say I do. Does that work? For the
Okay,
kids, since it's so many of them,
okay.
instead of
All
me.
at once,
Yeah,
yeah.
instead of
Yeah,
me,
definitely all at once.
instead of me reading a little bit and letting them repeat it back, I'll
Okay.
just read through the whole thing and they can say I do.
Okay,
Is that okay?
it's fine.
I've never seen stripes, so it's just the humor of it.
Then we have the minutes for September the 8th. And then we've got the resolution updates for the youth commission as new business. Matt, you want to talk about the amendment for the billing to the property taxes?
No, so the movement essentially is just adding the date change. So we typically, in the past, try to get bills out by September 15th, and they're due back December 15th. But with House Bill 581 and some other changes imposed by the state, it has affected the county's schedule that they're usually on to return the digest back to us. So we can start our internal work on it to get it out. So that process has been delayed a month. So our goal is October 15th to January 15th. And from what we've been communicated by the county is they think that is going to be the permanent schedule, that what's been imposed on them schedule-wise. This will not be a one-off year where we're trying to figure everything out and we'll go back September 15th. They feel like October 15th to January. October 15th is going to be their new date going forward. They're going to get us the digest back, and then October 15th will be our date to push out the bills to folks. So October 15th to January 15th is the date that you have in mind for people to turn in their property tax bills. So it adds that language to change that, and then it adds, since we'll be putting, the garbage fee on there, sanitation fee, it adds that language to that too. So it'll be stormwater fee, sanitation fee, and then the actual taxes. So the document keeps all that documented.
Everybody okay? All right, and then we have the advisory board. Not expecting any issues there. So we can go back to the work session. Any correspondence? City attorney's report.
We will have the need for an executive session.
And then we'll go to updating projects.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you. So if you look at, refer to your city projects update document here. So construction progress is steady. If you look into Taqueria, you'll see that they've got some tables and chairs, the furniture's in there now. And it looks really good.
They hung up some plants.
Yeah, very unique look. Very unique
Fantastic.
look. It looks really good in there. Be interesting setup for sure. You look in the parks, you will not see that. You see drywall. I don't know what's going on with those people, but it is what it is. So they're moving. Cricket Can is moving. The staff is zeroing in on that policy that we'll get to all of you. That process is going along well. We went over the entertainment district branding, and we had an event this last Thursday. Ignatius Hines came and played the saxophone, and we counted kind of the height about 70 people, which is good for a Thursday night. Yeah. And a lot of people liked the difference in just music. I mean, all we've done is kind of acoustic guitars and singers. And that's good. But it was good to have a different feel, out there. And he was fantastic. Very talented, obviously, performs professionally, so he's got that going for him. But it was a fun experience for a lot of folks to watch him out there. We had a food truck, come in. None of the restaurants were open yet. There was a Puerto Rican cuisine that a lot of people enjoy as well. So if you're into plantains and that sort of thing, they serve a lot of the food on that basis. So we've got that going, and this Friday, we'll have our movie night. We had one originally scheduled. It's kind of a back to school event, August 1st, but we had trouble with the rain, so we had to reschedule that. And that'll be September 26th, so this Friday night. The movie will start at dusk. I don't know exactly what time that is this time of year, but between 7:30 and 8. And it's the Minecraft movie. I don't know if any of you have seen that, but it's supposed to be pretty good. So we'll be out there, and last time we did this, I think it was, the Halloween. Was the last movie at the Grove we had there, which was Hocus Pocus. We got a really good turnout. Now that's a trick-or-treating aspect too, but we still had almost 200 people, the last time. So we're hoping that this goes equally well.
Yeah, I have a question.
But it's supposed to rain on Friday too, so.
Great. I have Grove trick-or-treating on Wednesday night, the 24th. Is that supposed to be October?
Probably.
Yeah, that would be October 24th, the Friday, right before Halloween.
And as we kind of discussed, we talked about entertainment district branding. We talked about the .gov crossover that's kind of got in our minds that, because when you change the city's web address, there's a lot of other things that affects, letterhead, business cards, all of that. It kind of accelerated our conversation as staff as far as just, I don't know if you all know this, but we can't find a record of actually adopting this logo officially.
I don't think we did.
So there's just
But
things
we
like
have
that.
it copyrighted, right?
Well, I don't know what we have copyrighted. So that's part of the exercise, right? Is getting some of this stuff officially adopted and brought into a brand guide that staff will use, but also clarifying when we use this as opposed to the seal and all that good stuff. So on that front, we're looking at the seal, and the seal is the council's really official seal, and so we don't want to be presumptuous on the staff perspective and change a bunch of things on it without your input and your direction. We do have a couple suggestions that I'll just kind of go with, show you. One thing is get rid of the comma GA and either go City of Snellville or Snellville. This is not even our motto, striving for the highest. And I will, it used to be, and I will tell you that there was a lot of staff members who never knew there was writing even under there, that we just never know, it kind of blends in. So we recommend you either do, just do Georgia under that. And so it's Snellville, Georgia, or City of Snellville, Georgia. And that's the extent of our recommendations go. So if there are things that you all want to change on this, you certainly can. But as far as our branding goes, that's where the staff's input starts and stops, on that. Oh, then we also said maybe we get rid of the tan and just do a white background, which is already one that we have, one that's already part of the branding, so we just kind of go back to that information. So think about that if you want to undertake, a change like that. We just suggest these minor changes to it. So think about it. If something else comes to mind, let us know.
We probably want to go with City of Snellville because of the 30039 zip code. They call themselves Snellville, and that denotes that this is
The city.
seal
Right,
of the City of
City has
Snellville.
a county or.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I would do City of Snellville and then
And
Georgia.
Georgia below.
Yeah, I like that
Okay.
too.
Then we can officially retire striving for the highest.
Yep. I didn't know we
Right.
hired it much else.
We used to get clobbered with that phrase all the time. Public comment. Your motto's up there, striving for the highest. I don't think you're striving for the highest at this vote.
And yet, and they wonder why we have all the CBD stores.
Striving for the highest.
Just so we
Extra
don't
marketing opportunities.
yeah, just so we don't repeat what's on the building circa 1920s. Oh, that has always bugged me, circa 1923.
Yeah, we don't want to. Yeah, and the 1923 is in the
Isn't
clock
that what
face.
you say?
Huh?
No.
Circa means around.
That just means about,
Like,
around 1923.
Sure, that's, yes.
Well-
It's about 1923.
Well, that's,
Exactly.
Got defunct in the 40s.
yeah, that's
We did get
why.
defunct as a city in the 40s, so it was around 23, then we got dropped off.
The depression years.
Todd did the same thing, service to the city, so.
Came back better and stronger, just like Snellville.
Striving for the
A little fatter
highest.
too.
So that's all we have for the Grove items, city beautification. We're working through the RFP and working on a scope and all that good stuff. And we'll be ready when that time comes to put that out. We'll get your input in a special work session probably on what we recommend as far as changes to the program and the path forward on that. Let's see, so Briscoe Park, so nothing new on zoning guidelines, package sales stuff. We'll let Jay talk about that in exec session. Briscoe Park, so we're preparing for the pad forward here soon, which is a big milestone. And then once you do that, you'll start seeing things come out of the ground, and then really start to take shape. They've ordered a lot of the steel, which is good. It's in their possession in a warehouse. It's the stipulations of the contract. We order materials, you store them in a secure location there. So when the pad is put in place, you'll start to see that steel go up, and it's exciting. We met with, I mentioned a few weeks ago, staff met with Jay, with GMA and the bond attorney to go over the loan program. And I told you we follow up with some additional information, we have it. So what I've given you is kind of a rough calendar of the process that we would go through from start to finish to obtain that money. I mentioned to you before, we'd ask about $4 million. Again, just to emphasize, this would be a stopgap measure as far as just having cash flow to address potential cash flow issues with SPLOST as you're collecting that money. We've got other projects and other things we're working on that money goes towards. So it's a way for us to, not put too much strain on SPLOST or on the general fund to make up for the money that we have not yet collected. through the SPOS program that we do expect to collect by the time it's run its course. So I would probably change, these dates a little bit because we haven't started the survey process yet, and we probably won't have it by Monday, so it might need to be pushed back a week. But we would start with a survey. So, and I'll ask Jay to correct me if I'm incorrectly describing the process. But essentially, what we'll need to do is we will need to get a survey of the improvement. So everything from the detention pond, the parking lot, the building itself. A survey of that specifically, because that will be what we're essentially, as far as the bank is concerned, signing that over to GMA as the owner while we have the loan out. And so if something happens, we default on the loan, then that becomes GMA's property, We don't expect that to happen, but from a bank perspective, it has to be looked at as that way, right? That it would become theirs. So we do that with a survey with a legal description. We send out a notice of public hearing, a notice of the sale of the property, even though, we're not really selling it, and GMA kind of explained that they hardly ever get any of the bidders at all to bid, so we don't expect anyone to compete with GMA.
And they're going to outbid them.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. We follow the public hearing notice process of property sale. Then we have a comments due on the city residence transaction document, a third public hearing, and a third public notice. And then we're receiving the bids, we're opening the bids, and then we're bringing those to you for approval. We don't expect GMA to be the only bidder on that. It probably won't happen by the November meeting. We're probably targeting the first meeting in December to bring that to you, to get through this whole process, to bring to you to approve the loan.
These public hearings, do we actually have to have public meetings for those? So it'll be like the millage rate hearings?
Essentially, yes.
And Matt,
Yes.
for collateral, we're using the building we're building, or we're using City Hall, or we're using?
No, it's
The land where it sits
land
now.
sits
Or where it's going to sit, but there is stuff on there.
Right, it's just a matter of, when you mentioned surveying the building and the detention, everything, it was like,
Get that land.
yeah, it's not done yet, so.
No, it'll look really weird. I mean, I have it in my office, basically use a Sharpie marker drawing lines to give to the survey crew.
As long as they're
we do
good.
this is what we want.
As long as they're good, yeah.
So it'll take a very funky shape. Yeah. So as we work through this process, we'll keep you all updated. Obviously, as we do the public hearings, you will all be a part of that. Those will be public meetings that will be associated with, our normal, regular business meetings that you have, that we have scheduled.
One public hearing or three? I see three ads for a public hearing, but only one public hearing.
Yeah.
on
Yeah,
it.
sorry.
Advertise it three times.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's one public hearing.
That'd be on Monday the 27th, so it'd have to be a special call if we stick to this schedule.
And it's probably going to get pushed back because I don't think we're going to get a survey to the tonight.
So we might get that first meeting November.
Sorry. Oh my God.
Any other questions about that? I mean, that's a very cursory review, but you can certainly read the rest of it to kind of get the full scope of what we'll be doing. And then, so North and Wisteria, so the sewer work is ongoing. They've completed the bore, which is good. No major issues with that. We actually, every time Larry calls me, I'm like, oh my gosh, something happened. And they ran into some rock in the bore, but it was what they call rock boulders, sort of broken up, so they can kind of push the bore through that. And I was like, oh my gosh, rock right there would have been a nightmare, because you'd have to open cut all of that, excavate all of Wisteria 124. I mean, it was really bad. So they pushed through it. We're working on some utility conflicts on Vanfield to make sure we don't hit anything there. When they were doing the bore, we came about 2 inches from hitting a fiber line. That was unmarked. Who knows what that would have impacted. Would not have been good. there.
Unless it wasn't AT&T, it'd be out for 6 months. So we're gonna.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Probably shouldn't say that out
We can edit that. So that's going fine for right now. The boring is done, so we're working on the bank side right now to connect them there, and then when we get some of these utility conflicts with Banfield worked out. And it's not really conflicts, it's just making sure we don't hit anything. We'll have to go under some power, go under a fire line, just to make sure all that is crossed our what's that saying?
Crossing your T's and dotting your I's.
Yeah, no, but it was like a convoluted line between that one and measure twice cut once. Sort of thing, making sure all that is in place. You'll probably notice too that along the north corridor there, a lot of pedestrian lights have been installed. There's a handful left that need to be installed, and you'll see the decorative light poles that you see around the world. All of those are lining down north. Looks really good. Looks really good. AT&T utility relocation stuff. So they've done all the conduit. That's in place. They've got the fiber lines inside the conduit. So you remember the conduit's just the orange tube that holds the actual fiber lines. And what they'll do now, between now and the end of the month, is they'll schedule with each of the property owners that have their fiber on what they call a cutover. All right. So basically, you're cutting from the new fiber, from the old fiber to the new fiber. And so you'll be out, an hour or whatever, as they do that work. And so they're working on scheduling all of that now with those property owners. I did not realize this until this week, actually, that Comcast is in the same boat. So I was beating up AT&T, but Comcast will do their cutover, but they're in the same boat of finishing their cutovers by the end of this month. So by October, all the fiber cutovers will be done, and then it'll be back to all the traditional road work that we're doing. So we've made some good progress on getting that hustled up and done. I think with nothing with the .gov crossover that we haven't already shared, and that will happen Q1 of next year. And then property tax billing, we went through that. We've received the digest from the county, and we're doing our own internal process to get it out by October 15th. We're on time for that. Yeah, he's changed there. That's all I have.
All right. So that ends our work session, so we'll go to executive session. During the work session, the mayor and city council of Snellville, Georgia, Mayor Bender announced that certain